Hey everyone, Carl here with Literate Lessons, bringing you a deep dive featuring Rotom-Wash this week. Rotom-Wash is one of the more popular Rotom forms, I would say, in comparison to Rotom Heat. While currently Rotom Heat is obviously the better one in terms of the format, Rotom-Wash still offers some great tools and is got one of the better typings, I would say, in comparison to Rotom Heat. But before we get started on Rotom, make sure to hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live. It helps us out a ton. We recently just passed our 300 subscriber mark, but would love to keep pushing into the 400s, 500s, and so on and so forth. So definitely do that for us. It helps us out a ton. One of the things that makes Rotom-Wash a fairly powerful Pokemon is the fact that it has a fairly unique typing in Water Electric, plus its Levitate ability. This essentially means that Rotom-Wash only has one weakness in Grass, so you can usually pivot it in front of like a Steel type attack, Fire type attack, Flying, so on and so forth, another Water type attack, and stuff like that to eat those hits that would normally be super effective into your team and kind of keep your team alive for a little bit longer. Another thing that makes Rotom-Wash just a little bit better than the rest of the Rotom forms is the fact that it has Hydro Pump as its signature signature move compared to Heat's Overheat or Mo's Leaf Storm. Both of those two will drop your special attack 2 stages just because it's just like it's the trade-off, whereas Hydro Pump doesn't have that trade-off and it just hits like a truck still. So this kind of puts the edge to Rotom-Wash's favor. Also making it a very decent Dynamax target as well, usually Nasty Plot and things like that to just soar over your opponents. The history of Rotom-Wash and Sword and Shield is fairly diverse. We saw it a lot in the early series. Think like Series 1, 2, and 3. It was very, very common. Having that one weakness and one immunity meant that you can just soar over most opponents because not everyone was carrying real good grass options at the time. This also became a great Dynamax option, utilizing like Nasty Plot to get set up and then sweep through teams. A common combo would be like Togekiss or Indeedee plus Rotom, using Follow Me to redirect into that Pokemon while you're setting up your Rotom, or accurately get like calling them thinking you're going to protect. You get a Nasty Plot off instead and they can sweep the game that way. Rotom-Wash has just offered a ton in terms of Dynamax and like use in Dynamax formats, and it's also gained a little bit of infamy. If you aren't aware, Ally Switch is a TR in that generation, so tons of people used Ally Switch super effectively to I guess essentially cause mind games for your opponent. Having that one weakness, those really good resists, and that one immunity, Rotom-Wash ended up being the premier like Rotom form for use and caused a lot of headaches for people. However, Rotom-Wash has really fallen off. The Sun archetype has kind of pushed Rotom out, having that access to Venusaur and Sun, so your Rotom-Wash just doesn't do enough damage usually in the face of like Groudon or Venusaur or Charizard and stuff like that. However, it still has some use, but Rotom Heat just kind of ekes it out a little bit better. When looking at common partners for Sword and Shield, we see a lot of like fire and like fighting types, things that Rotom-Wash can switch in on for super effective hits into. If we think about like Incineroar, it's weak to water, it's weak to ground. Rotom-Wash resists both of those. Urshifu is weak to flying, which is super duper common. Rotom-Wash resists flying, so it can eat that max airstream if we need it to. Same thing for Landorus, weak to ice, weak to water. Rotom-Wash can switch in on both of those. So in current Sword and Shield, it seems that people are leaning more into the pivot nature for Rotom-Wash, whereas in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, you see that a little bit as well, but Rotom is still more offensive based, I would say, rather than bulky support like we see in Sword and Shield a lot. Arcanine, Tyranitar, Heatran, Cresselia is a common partner, so is Togekiss, things like that. So it just depends on what your format is and the tools around it. It determines what your Rotom's going to be doing for the most part. Like I mentioned, Rotom's got real good resists, and obviously all 3 of these Pokemon on screen have like weaknesses that Rotom resists, but there's a little more nuance to it in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl than there is in Sword and Shield. When looking at the metagame breakdown here for Rotom-Wash, we see that Hydro Pump is at 99%. This is your only water type move you get access to, so it makes sense to be playing it. Thunderbolt at 87. Your other electric type attacks are like Discharge, Volt Switch, Rising Voltage if you're playing Sword and Shield. I think you get Electro Ball as well, which is an option, especially like Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. That's an option because the format isn't super duper fast like it is in this format in Sword and Shield, so that's something to keep an eye out for. Other utility moves, Ally Switch in Sword and Shield is something you get there. You get Trick in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl. Protect, Nasty Plot, Will-O-Wisp. There's a nasty combo with like Will-O-Wisp and Hex that can just blow up opponents if they're not prepared for it. So just little things to think about there. As for items, Citrus Berry is the most common item across the board between Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl and Sword and Shield. Rotom just benefits from that extra recovery a little bit and doesn't really need like Life Orb or Expert Belt to get to that extra damage point because they have Nasty Plot. Safety Goggles here at 4% is kind of a just like concession to how powerful Venusaur is in Series 11. Obviously, we don't have Safety Goggles in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, but if we had it, you would probably see Safety Goggles a lot more in that format. Building with RotomWash is fairly easy because RotomWash kind of just slots into a lot of different teams fairly easily. There's no hard thing you have to keep an eye out for, but having an option to beat grass types is always encouraged, whether that's like Entei, Incineroar, Reshiram, flying types like Landorus, Tornadus, Thundurus, trying to think of other, Yveltal, that's another good one. Since RotomWash's stabs are both resisted by grass naturally, it's good to have something to answer that type in case you need it. Like, think about it like how weak it is against Sun, like Venusaur. Having a good way to deal with Venusaur with your team with RotomWash is just a good idea. And like I mentioned a million times before, this RotomWash makes a great pivot, but specifically for like steel resistances. You are taking 1/4 damage from steel types. So things like Zacian's Behemoth Blade or Heavy Slam, Max Steel Spike, stuff like that, RotomWash makes a great pivot for. And Ally Switch and Will-O-Wisp access means that you are super varied on what you can actually do. You don't have to play the Dynamax Nasty Plot sets. You can play an Ally Switch Protect set. You can play a Will-O-Wisp Hex set and kind of just get people off guard. So you still have a use in these super powered Sword and Shield formats as a damage soak support mon. Looking at the movesets and base stats here for RotomWash, we see that we have that base 50 HP, those base 107 defenses like every Rotom form does. Fun fact, all of these stats across the Rotom forms except for the standard form I believe are the same. 86 speed, 105 special attack, 65 attack. These are okay stats. Your special attack obviously is where it's at, and having that 86 speed is gonna come up actually a lot in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, just due to the fact that you outspeed all base 85s naturally at max speed, so that's just something to think about there. But this first set here is for Sword and Shield. This is a Safety Goggles standard set. Thunderbolt, Will-O-Wisp, Hydro Pump, Protect. You can slap Nasty Plot on here and go to town with that, or you can kind of just play this support mode. I think having Will-O-Wisp is more important right now than having Nasty Plot. Just overall, just a little bit of speed investment, so we're not just slowest thing on the format, but we don't want to have a lot of just like unnecessary speed on this thing. Next up, we have our Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl sets. This also works for Sword and Shield, technically, because it's a Citrus Berry set. You could swap Discharge for any electric type attack you want to play. Hydro Pump, Protect, Nasty Plot to kind of round out everything. This set in particular is at modest nature and 20 speed EVs because this will outspeed everything trying to outspeed 4 investment Rotom pretty easily. Outside of that, max special attack, a little bit of special defense investment because there's not a whole lot of physical grass types in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, so this set seems going to be probably your most standard calcs when it comes to that set. And lastly up here we have a Choice Spec set. This is something kind of niche for RotomWash, having that trick ability. You can use Hydro Pump and 2-shot Garchomps with Hydro Pump. You can use Volt Switch to almost knock out Togekiss and get out of there. Shadow Ball for everything that can't get hit by water or electric, i.e. Gastrodon, and then Trick to take that Choice Specs and put it on something that doesn't care, take their item away like a Life Orb or something like that. Just fun little niche things. We are 252 Timid, so we get to outspeed things like Kingdra, anything base 85 or slower is going to get outsped naturally by this Rotom-Wash. So just things thinking about in the back of your mind. One more thing before I go. Arcanine is such a popular Pokemon, and it's faster than us. This set will still OHKO Arcanine with a Hydro Pump after a Snarl, so this is kind of niche and kind of cool for Rotom-Wash to do. Continuing on with Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl stuff, it's actually probably more powerful in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl than it was in Sword and Shield. Saying that seems like a weird thing because Dynamax is so powerful and whatnot. But Rotom-Wash's typing is even stronger when there's no grass types around. When you don't have to worry about your one weakness, that means all you have to worry about is just making sure that your moves hit. And you can pivot in on a bunch of different types, and it's super easy for you to do that. You can look back at previous other VGC seasons as well, just for like ideas, and kind of infer that Rotom-Wash actually is the strongest Rotom form, probably. Having all those resists and one real weakness that isn't present in Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl means that it's 22% usage currently in battle doubles, whatever it is on Showdown, is actually warranted, being one of the strongest water types in the format. I think next to like Gastrodon. Gastrodon's the only other one I can think of like water type wise that's super popular. Other things to think about are like Ludicolo, specifically on rain teams. Trying to think of other water types that are popular right now. I think Kingdra on rain teams as well. So I could like Rotom-Wash is really good, and it's probably the best water type that can just be added in on a team somewhere. And with that being said, I want to thank you all for hanging out and listening to me ramble about Rotom-Wash today. Make sure to check us out on Twitter at LRLessons, at MrMissouri25, and at MusicalVGC. Make sure to check out our Discord link in the description down below. Our Discord is great. You can submit new deep dive ideas there. You can talk to people about fantasy football or basketball. We're currently getting ready for our Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl Draft League after Christmas. So if you're interested in that, come join the Discord and hang out there as well. We'll get more info on that as the days go on. And remember to hit that subscribe button, ring the bell for notifications for when new videos go live. It helps us out a ton. Leave a comment down below. Get that algorithm to send this video out to everybody. And with that being said, have a wonderful morning, afternoon, evening, wherever you're at in the world, and we'll see you all on Friday with Cresselia. Bye, everyone.